YouTube, how's it going? The Goat House is back with some more 2020 NFL record predictions going through every team and game by game. This video for the New Orleans Saints. Went through most of the teams. We're going to get through them. This is the last of the NFC South. Next is the AFC West and the NFC West. And then we'll continue on, kind of recap everything and predict the playoffs. You guys are also creating a future video as well. So if you go to the Twitter, there'll be a poll at the end of each division. So when I finish this video, for an example, the NFC South poll will be up. You guys vote for who will win the division. We'll circle back. You guys vote for the seedings, the wild cards, round by round, the playoffs, and the Super Bowl. And you guys are going to create a video. So this is the first time we're doing this. I am pumped for that. Really appreciate the support. We had 50K on the Goat House channel. We have a Goat House Plus channel. More coming to that in the future, trying to get some things sorted out there. But we're trying to reach 50K. If we get them both kind of matching, I would really appreciate that. Again, follow the Twitter, follow the podcast. Links for any of these things, description in the comments. PlayoffPredictors.com is what we're using to predict all these games. Very useful, cool site. You guys can make your predictions. Come back to the comments. Let me know your predictions. The Saints, a team that, maybe one of the safer teams to predict that they'll be good. It just seems like every single year. Not a whole bunch of change every single year, but yet they continue to be consistent, which is impressive. Very, very impressive. So could this be the last rodeo for Drew Brees, the last rodeo for the Saints then, if it's it for him? They'll still be a good team after him, but it's definitely a win-now mentality, a win-now move to keep Drew Brees, obviously. They get better adding Emmanuel Sanders. They got a couple key draft picks, just not a whole bunch there. But, the offensive line kind of just gets younger and could be improved right away, adding Cesar Ruiz in there. And a couple pieces all together to kind of, not a whole bunch of, additions, but it just makes that offense that much better, I think. And I think being younger, more athletic on the offense line and adding a true number 2 receiver, or really you could argue another number 1 there with Michael Thomas and Emmanuel Sanders, so that works out pretty well for them. Looking at the defensive side, to me it's a pretty, I think it's a balanced defense. There's no spot where that's a hole, To me, mainly it's about the pass, or I shouldn't say pass rush, it's the D-line staying healthy. Marcus Davenport, Sheldon Rankins, continuing to miss some games, and that kind of hurt them down the stretch, and that kind of hurt the secondary. We see the difference in the secondary early in the year and later in the year. Huge difference. Could that be because of the injury? That's kind of what I go back to. The secondary, I don't really value secondary players, whether it's paying a ton of money or drafting high, because the front seven just makes them look better, when they're in the game playing their best game. So Saints, among other teams and situations, are kind of living proof of that. The Saints is, it's going to be another good year. It's just about getting over that hump in the playoffs, really what it is. So, week 1 against the Buccaneers. This will be a good game. Good to see them start off, week 1, a good game here. I think, and the Bucs got to go through a little bit of adjustments, a lot of new faces. Saints at home opener, week 1. I definitely got the Saints in this one. I actually, for the Saints' sake, I wish that it was flipped. I wish it was in Tampa here and in New Orleans for Week 9. Why? Because I think they would win both then. They can definitely win both still. We'll get there, and then we'll circle back and do best-case scenario after I predict my actual prediction. So we kind of get 2 for 1 here. But if they are in Tampa Week 1, I still think they would win just because the adjustments the Bucs have to go through. So, that would be. I found that pretty interesting about the schedule. At Las Vegas Monday night. So that kind of the big prime time, showing of the new Raiders stadium. The Saints are absolutely dominant prime time regular season, especially. So this will be a tough one for the Raiders. They're home. That crowd's going to be nuts, though. So it'll probably be a good game. It's just tough to go against the Saints in this one. And then they go right to another prime time, I believe, here. Yes, 8:20 p.m. Sunday Night Football. Packers at Saints. Aaron Rodgers versus Drew Brees. Oh, this would be a good one. If this was in Green Bay, I may actually lean towards the Packers. I think where it's at prime time, you got to go with the Saints. I'm not saying I'm not saying which team's better than the other, but because both, the Saints probably had, I felt like the Saints were better in the regular season last year, but the Packers obviously had the better season because, the name of the game is playoffs and beyond. So you can't really pick which one's better at the moment. But you feel like the Saints are a little more complete. They're home prime time, so I'll go with the Saints. Saints-Lions. If you watch the Lions prediction, I actually went with the Lions in this one, and I'm actually going to stick to it. And people may be confused by that. People may say the Saints are better. They are better, but the better team doesn't always win. There's many examples every single year. Last year, I always go back to the Ravens-Browns. The Browns beat the you-know-what out of them, and it meant nothing. But another thing, it's not just that. It's not just picking random games. You kind of just look at the past. The Saints kind of always, not always, maybe not last year, but seem to drop a random one early. It seemed like the Bucs in the past when the Bucs were at the worst, and the Lions always win some big games early. And why is that? I've mentioned this several times. It's because they're healthy. Stafford's healthy. Everyone's fresh. They seem like a good team early in the year. They just do. The Saints are better, and the Lions just sneak one off here. That's all. The Chargers Saints Monday night. Saints win that one. Maybe a little bit of a test Chargers defense. But the Saints will be just fine. Bye week in week 6. It's a little early, but I like it. 6-7, around there. Fantastic in my opinion. Panthers Saints. Yeah, the Saints gonna bounce off that. Saints Bears. I like the matchup for the Saints in this one a lot. It's in Soldier Field. This is a late afternoon game. I just like the matchup for the Saints. I think their defense. Again, the Saints defense will be pretty darn good early in the year. It's just about staying healthy. Mainly with the couple guys I named, and then staying consistent with the secondary. It seems like the beginning of the year the secondary is good; those guys are healthy. At the end of the year, it's the opposite. It seems like the same thing every year. So at this point, I think their defense will slow down the Bears' offense enough. And yeah, the Bears got a really good defense, maybe the best in football, maybe elite. 2 years ago, definitely elite, definitely the best football. Last year, just very good is what I would consider it. You can slow down Brees in this offense at this point of the season. But can you really stop them? That's kind of the question there, and my answer is no. You got Saints at Bucks, yeah. So you gave the time to Bucks to kind of adjust, kind of get better here. I'll take the Bucks in a split of the two games here. Niners Saints. We had an absolute showdown last year, so excited for this. This will be a really good game here. Probably a shootout. The name of the game here is the Saints offensive line. And that's kind of the question, really, actually. Talk about the defensive line staying healthy, the secondary staying more consistent. But what about the offensive line? We got Warford out of there, which has been very, very good for them. But, it's Cesar Ruiz, who was the best interior offensive lineman in the draft, more athletic. How will he be right away? Will they be better because of it? Andrus Peat, will he continue to improve? Some struggles last year, but the offensive line was very solid. But there's a chance where the offensive line could kind of cost them a game like this. We've seen them kind of hurt them a little bit in the playoff game, but I'm still going to Saints at home here. I think the offensive line holds it down. That's the key to this game. The Saints offensive line versus the Niners pass rush, they hold it down. I think the Niners secondary looked really good. It was good last year, so I don't want to take anything away from them, but the pass rush kind of made them look better, kind of what I talked about earlier. So I think Brees will be able to throw on the secondary, basically. Him and Michael Thomas, Manuel Sanders. Manuel Sanders going against his Niners team that he was just on last year. Saints, Falcons. I actually had one of those, which we see it every year from some teams, one of those splits. So I'm kind of giving away what I'm doing here. The two away teams, they win away games. Kind of a feeling here. But the Falcons, more to it. The Falcons kind of gave the Saints a little bit of troubles at times last year, even though the Saints took care of business, and it was weird because the Falcons were really struggling, so, just something about them, maybe they know how to game plan against the Saints, the same old Saints team, so they could sneak one off here. Saints adjust correctly because of the better team, better coaching staff, and they win this one. I actually had the Broncos in this one. It's kind of weird that we skipped a week, so I apologize for that, but I get a little ahead of myself. The Broncos I have winning actually this one because I think a team here late in the year that's really going to be getting better. They have the pass rush to get after Drew Brees in this game. The complete pass rush, maybe the best duo in football, in Von Miller and Bradley Chubb. And then they have the offense I think will start to be heating up at this point. I think they can throw the ball downfield against the Saints secondary pretty well. And the question is, will the Saints pass rush, with, I got to single out the guys Davenport and Rankins. Will they be healthy? Those are big-time players right there. Saints at Eagles. I do have the Saints in this one, so the question of the Eagles being healthy as well. And the Saints match up pretty well on them. They'll be able to throw downfield on this team. Eagles got a pretty good D-line, but they don't have tremendous pass rush. Not enough here. And that'll be enough for the Saints to win this game. Chiefs at Saints. Just about keeping up scoring. I will take in an offensive battle. I will take the Chiefs. I think you can actually compare the defenses. The Chiefs really improve. That kind of gets past a lot of people. How solid that defense got. And it makes sense because they got the playmakers. They got the big-time players. Chris Jones. They have some solid. Frank Clark's a very solid pass rusher. They got some young guys down there, too, for this year, too. Derek Nottie on the inside. Brilliant Speaks that can move around a bit. You see Tyrann Mathieu, the addition he made. Juan Thornhill in his second year. So, and they just switched to a 4-3 with Spagnuolo last year, his scheme. So, defense is really coming along, and I would actually view as pretty similar to the Saints' defense. I think these two teams have a pretty complete defense that got some big-time playmakers on it in the offense. So it's more of just the offensive battle because these all, as good as defenses can be, these offenses, they will score. They will score on these defenses. So I will take the Chiefs in that one. Vikings-Saints, revenge game for the Saints. This game being on Christmas in New Orleans. This is like a big game for them, I think, and really their fans. So this almost feels like at this point this is more of the rival game than the Falcons or the Buccaneers. Buccaneers can be because how much the competition is, now rather than compared to the past years. The Saints get their revenge in this game, win that one at home on Christmas. The Saints at the Panthers, they finished the year with the win here, of course. 11-5 is what I got. Kind of circling back and going best case scenario. This was kind of a gut feeling here. So I can go back on that, take the Saints. But if you do remember, I did have them being it's not going to be a free one against the Bucs in Las Vegas Monday night. Not going to be a free one against Aaron Rodgers early in the year. He's healthy. That team's out. That's not going to be a free one. So you got to remember, I did have them winning these ones that really aren't freebies. I'll still keep the Bucs here. Remember, I did have them beating the Niners as well. Maybe they beat the Falcons twice. I'm thinking 13-3 is probably about the best case scenario here for them. They could beat the Broncos too, but then again, remember all these ones I had winning that they could lose one of these. So 13-3. I had 11 wins. I had and then I had the Lions, just kind of a wild card one. So 11 wins. Worst case scenario, I don't really see the worst case being that much. What if Drew Brees gets hurt again? You got Jameis Winston. I would like the Jameis Winston, and I don't expect Brees to get hurt again. But still, I think they would be okay. I think worst case, I don't see them losing that Bucs game week 1. Packers, Raiders, they're probably better. The Raiders maybe can sneak one. I think worst case. Maybe it's a matchup problem with the Vikings. I think worst case, I don't even see that. Because they have them losing the Lions too. 9-7 is the very bottom. I just don't see it though. I just see a 10, 11, 12. It's just kind of what I view here. So I had 11-5. Battle with the Buccaneers. That'll be a good battle throughout the playoffs there. So that's going to do it for my Saints prediction. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Please smash that like button. Check out both of our channels. Please subscribe. And then check out that Twitter. Would really appreciate all that. Appreciate all the support. You guys have been awesome. Can't wait to continue the grind here. Can't wait for the NFL season. That's going to do it for this one, though. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.